Let's talk a little bit about power, and I will do so by showcasing you a little paradox. Let's say you have a job, and in that job you have a boss. Who has the power there? Your boss does. Why? Because you allow him to have so. Therefore, if you allow your boss to have power, that means that you are the one who has the real power, because you are the one who put those people, and yourself included, in that position. I know there are situations where you feel like you don't have the power because there are some things tied that you may feel threatened. People have bills to pay. Sometimes money isn't enough. And you may be paying for your house, for your car, and you need the money flowing. So you have fear. You fear that if you use your power, you will lose the situation you are in, and you will end up with no money to pay whatever you need to pay. So if you actually want to remain with your power, you need to do one of two things. You can either save money as much as you can, make sure you plan your life so that you position yourself in a situation where you can cover a plan B. Let's put it that way, more simply. If you have a plan A, which is whatever you're doing at the moment, and then if you have a plan B, plan C, plan D, all the way throughout the alphabet, you have the power, because if something goes wrong, you can get back to it with plan B. If plan B fails, you have plan C. And you always put yourself in the best position possible in this chess game that is life. However, sometimes that's not possible, and then the plan A to Z may actually be to have faith, to trust that if the situation you are in, if you take your power back, you can have faith that you will end up in some better place, in some better situation. And that's hard to do sometimes, because people in most society don't have enough faith. They may have shallow faith, but that's not real faith, because fears are stronger, limiting beliefs are stronger. If you may have some faith, but if deep down you don't believe that it will happen, things will shift to your advantage, then they won't. And that's a pity, because they could. Shadow work is important, because that way you will know more of yourself, you will know more about the beliefs you got, and therefore having faith will be easier, because you will know what to trust, who to trust, and you can give a little boost by aligning with your beliefs. And there's a nice combination there. Knowing your beliefs and aligning with them, plus faith. I don't think you can't go wrong with that. Yeah. So this topic has been on my mind lately. In the current job that I am, it isn't 1.5 years through it yet. However, many things come to mind when it comes to the topic of power. Also because there are many examples in the world. Oh, excuse me. There are many examples in the world where the powers that be aren't very powerful, or rather they are powerful, but external power, not internal power at all. Because external power, that means they have resources, lots of them, way more than average, yet their hearts aren't very powerful because they do everything they can to keep that external power, because without that external power they lose everything, because their inner power is zero. That's important power, but the real power is in the heart, because it's more genuine, which means that for those who have lots of external power but no inner power, that usually means that their moral code is corrupted. That means they are inauthentic. They lie, cheat and steal to win, and that's not a very good thing at all. We need better role models regarding power, regarding authority, and well, when it comes to the highest of highest, that may be a little bit annoying, because, well, again, lie, cheat and steal at all costs. In some situations it's very hard to dethrone those guys, but it's possible, and it will happen, because we are living in times where the frequency of the earth is increasing, and therefore everything that is lower frequency will fall sooner or later. There may be some detox symptoms, which translates into wars and other stuff, but yeah, eventually the light side of the force will have more authority than ever. So if you don't like the way the authorities are running the world, everyone can do their best to lead by example. And what can people do to lead by example? First of all, they can see what it means to be actually a good authority figure. What does it mean to be powerful? It means fairness for me. It means elevating every single one of us. And authorities in the world, they tend to elevate themselves only, and those around them. Not everyone. Again, they don't want their external power to be threatened. I don't like that. But it is what it is. And what else? Yeah. Justice, elevation, expansion too. Being the face of whatever they represent, of the group they are representing. Listening to the people they are leading. That's important too. And I think that's it when it comes to defining an authority figure. So, in what ways can you apply that to the world? You can start there and start being so that others can see and start doing that themselves. But let's move away from the highest of high powers Let's move into smaller powers. Let's move into something more mainstream, something that applies more to the people. Let's talk, for example, workplace. The authorities in workplace. So you're in a job, you have a boss. So what happens? One trait that seems to be relatively common to at least the male bosses, all the males, most males with authority, there's that thing called ego. And the ego sometimes may be tricky because they want to stay in the comfort zone. Again, they don't want any threats to their power. And sometimes that means that if they have to step on somebody to remain there, they will. Which may cause authority abuse. For example, let's say you want some holidays, some days off, something, you want to exert your rights, and for no reason whatsoever, they deny you that. How would you behave? Will you let the authorities to deny something that is your right to take advantage of, or you let your authorities keep you in check and keep you working, because of course they want you to work. All they do is work. So I'm sure there are authority figures that want others to suffer what they suffer. So if they are always working, they want you to always work as well. So it wouldn't surprise me to see such authority figures to do that to the people they are exerting authority to. In that case, you have two options. If your moral code says like, okay, maybe there's no one to replace me for that moment, maybe there's a critical moment in the company, in my station, so maybe it's okay if I stay there. Like, that may happen and it's fine. I may agree with that. You want everything to go the best way possible, and that may be an outlet for that, but you still have a choice. What if you can't delay whatever you want to do? What if you need to do something and you're being denied that? Will you allow yourself to lose that power? Will you allow yourself to give that power to someone else, or you will actually use it? Again, do you feel trapped by your life circumstances and your fears override the power that you actually have? Or you will say, nah, I have the right for this. I want those days off, and I will get them. You have the power because I allow you to. Therefore, I can choose when you don't have that power. I can choose whether I take that power back or not. Doing so everywhere in life, that will be good. And you also need to keep in mind that because fear is such a dominating emotion in society, that will cause a bad precedent to authority figures, because they will think that they can do anything to others and get away with it. If that's the case, then lead by example and do the opposite, and fight for yourself, for your rights, for everyone's rights, if applicable. That's important. It is very important. That's how you change the world, with those actions. You could also be giving a lesson to that person, so that, hey, okay, you are in an authority position, and it's fair to not be perfect, but be mindful that your decisions impact your life, impact my life. Therefore, I want you to pay attention to what you're doing, because you can't do anything to others. You are not others, you are you. Others have different needs than you. They actually may have some in common, but they are not you. Therefore, their needs are different than yours. Their wants are different than yours. Take your power back, always. Play life in a situation, in a way that you retain your power at all times, because that's very important. We need to do so. Sometimes, well, it may be a lesson for us to lose our power. Who knows if in some past iteration of life you were the authority figure taking the power away from others unfairly? It's tricky, but you need to do something about it if you feel like you do. You always have the power, and there's also another thing that I think it's worth addressing, and I won't extend this video much further. Autopilot. That's another form of giving your power away, because let's think about it. Autopilot. You are letting life just drifting with the tide. That means you are not moving into the direction you want to. You are letting the tide define that for you. Is that what you want? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. You want to put your hands in the steering wheel and drive towards the direction you want. Because if you don't take the steering wheel, others will. Is that what you want? Do you want to be guided into a place where you don't want to go? I don't think so. I don't think so, and I'm sure you don't as well. So, even if you feel trapped, if you feel that you can take your power back, if the loss is bigger than your gains, okay, fine. You are the one in charge of your life, but be mindful. Be mindful of the position you are in and the position where you could be. Be mindful that decisions rooted in fear won't serve your best interests. Decisions rooted in love will. Excuse me. So, always keep that in mind, and always do your best to be fair. Always do your best to realize that people aren't perfect. If you are wronged, call them out respectfully. And if people don't take that respectfully, I mean, if they don't take things like, don't take things well. Of course, people with big egos won't want to have their authority being questioned. Poor ego, being hurt. Oh no. Anyway, remember to take your power back, and if your authority, if your life isn't being respected, then I don't feel like you should stick with that person as having an authority role in your life. Of course, when it comes to government and stuff like that, it's harder to remove that authority figure from your life, but when it comes to a more direct contact, that's easier. So yeah, be mindful and realize that lessons are meant to be learned and to be spread to others. And if for that you need to give a lesson to an authority figure, then so be it. Be brave and stand for yourself, because if you don't, I don't think others will. Bye bye.